Good morning, everyone. Isn't it a great day out? We don't have rain today, and it's really turned out to be a nice day. I'm Shirley Potez from the National Board of Governors of the National Health Federation, and I'm really glad to be here in Orlando. Today we have with us Beatrice Bartnett. She's a doctor of chiropractic, and she first practiced naturopathic in Switzerland and later studied chiropractic. So she spent many years researching, writing, and teaching urine therapy in the USA, as well as India, Europe, Canada, and Central America. She's now combined her vast knowledge to help people on all levels. She's authored 5 books, 2 on urine therapy. The name of her books are The Miracles of Urine Therapy, and Stay, It Can Save Your Life. Another one, The Key to the Ear, and that's the theory and practice, auricular therapy for the therapist. She will have these books for sale afterwards at the booth 42, which is right near this room. Let's give a warm welcome to Beatrice Bartnett.
Morning. Morning. Anybody can hear me? Everybody can hear me? Okay. Isn't it exciting to come here this morning and hear about your own water, the water of life? How many of you have heard about the water of life or urine therapy before? There's some of them. And how many of you are drinking your own water this morning? None of you? Well, yes, there are a couple. Good. Well, I guess when you leave here, you will be have a total different attitude and different thinking of urine therapy, because what we are doing here, we are educating you what urine is all about. Most people think urine is a product that is a waste and it's poisonous and it has to go out of the body. Well, I will show you what urine therapy or urine is all about. Today we are talking about waste. And we're also talking about recycling. How many of you are recycling papers and plastic products? See, you're recycling every day. Now, the next part to recycle is your own body, because your body has not a waste product to throw away. Your body has the waste because it cannot use it at the time. But when you take it back, you give the body a lot of nutrients and a lot of healthy substances. But before we go into that, I would like to tell you a little more about urine therapy. Urine therapy is practiced all over the world. In India, in South America, in Europe. Yes, somebody maybe please close the door. Thank you. And of course in America. And it has been practiced for all kinds of different purposes. A lot of times in India it is practiced by the yogis. The one reason for that is that they say that urine therapy actually will increase your spiritual abilities. You can meditate much deeper. You can go into your system much deeper when you start to practice urine therapy. That's one of the reasons for centuries the yogis in India have been practicing urine therapy, but they usually did not teach it to their own disciples because they wanted to be up there and experience their own meditations. But later, when Gandhi came into the Indian people, he was practicing urine therapy, and he was also teaching it to many people. Of course, as you know, urine therapy is cheap, it is free, and Gandhi is a person who tries to free his people and make them as self-sufficient as possible. Well, urine therapy is a right path, a good way to on that path. In India, they have whole clinics. They do nothing else than urine therapy. What they do, they put the urine from the patient into some orange juice in the morning, and they're specializing in leprosy. They have people who have leprosy for years and years and years, and within few days and weeks they are healed. Of course, the deformation, you cannot change that, but big wounds will start to close, and the basic disease start to disappear. The same thing they do with diabetes and with eye diseases in India. In South America, they also know about urine therapy. Only over there they're using it for different purposes. In South America, especially Ecuador, it's very well known for people who get bites. A lot of times you have spider bites and scorpions and all kind of little critters, and they're very toxic and poisonous, and you actually can die from it. There was a camp, it was one of these, I think Exxon or Texaco camp in Ecuador, and they had natives there who were working there as well as Americans. The interesting part is the natives always told the Americans, whenever you get a bite, you have to drink urine as soon as possible. That's the only way you survive. And one of the years, they got a lot of these spiders, and some of the people got bitten. The South Americans, of course, they went right back to urine therapy, and they all got saved. Now with the Americans, the ones who got bitten, 2 of them died. And of course, they did not do urine therapy. They just couldn't make themselves go ahead and drink their own water. Why? Because usually the way they're educated is that urine is something wasteful, something bad, and even toxic. So then it never even dawned into their minds that they could take in their own water. In other countries like Indonesia, they have a big problem with an eye disease, with eye infections. Now the government puts out a statement, and when you travel in Indonesia, you will see it in your hotel room, which says and states to take urine and put urine into your eyes in case you start to get the eye infection. So over there it's also very well known. In Germany, with children who have chickenpox and measles, the German measles, what they did is they used to take the urine from the first kid in the family who got the disease and start to make implants into the next kids from the same family. And they found out that the kids who got immunized with the urine of the older kids, they hardly got the disease at all when they got any kind of bouts of it. So urine, what it does actually, is also immunizing you at the same time. And they found that it was much, much safer to give the children the urine because there is no sad or bad side effects than giving them the injections. As you know, there's a lot of injection with immunization and all those different things, polio and different kind of injections. So it is much safer to use the urine, and yet it has a good effect. In France, we have literature which goes back into the last century, which they are talking about about jaundice and angina pectoris. And they seem to have done a lot of healing in those diseases in France. So you can see all over the world they were talking about urine therapy. Now this century, there have been more and more research done in it, and we have thousands of articles written and mostly published in medical journals on urine therapy and particles from the urine, and show the effect, what it does to your body and how it can heal. When we would take this information and analyze it, I think we would all benefit from our own water. Unfortunately, the medical establishment tries to get the different particles from urine, and we will see that later, try to pack it up and sell it to you for a lot of money. When they can do that, of course they will. Otherwise, taking it from your own water, which is free, they don't appreciate that too much. Now, another part that urine is used for is for your skin. It is one of the best lotions to put on the skin. It keeps your skin glowing and young and full of nutrients. It takes out the wrinkles you have, a lot of the wrinkles, the lighter wrinkles. When you start to put urine on your face or on your body, they start to disappear. Why? Because it nourishes the skin. The skin can start to be healthy that way. In all the expensive and also non-expensive skin creams, when you look what's in there, you see everywhere it's urea. And what is urea? It's one of the products in urine. It's taken from urine. So you can go out there and pay a $70 little lotion and put it on your skin, or you can take it for free every morning. And actually, I believe it has the better effect. And everybody who has done it before, they can rage to that. It is fabulous. In Italy, the women, it's very well known that when you have a baby, you use the baby's diapers, the wet ones, and put it all over the face. So it's all over different cultures. The American Indians have been using it. It's just everywhere, in different forms. In one way or another, it has been there, shown up. It's also in many religions, and I don't really want to go into religions today, but when you look into the different, like the Bible or the other holy books of different religions, they're talking about the water of life. Living waters shall flow from your belly. What else is living that comes out of your belly? It's your urine. And it's in the different holy books over and over again. In some of the books we have described those passages, and you can read up on them yourself. But let me go into what urine is all about a little bit more. I always like to take everything back to nature, because for me nature is the biggest teacher. And what we see in nature is that nature is always recycling. In the fall, in the spring, and in the summer, we have a tree which is full of leaves and radiant and strong. In the fall, the leaves start to go down on the ground. What happens with those leaves? They start to fall, and they start to go into minerals and different particles and go into the ground. Now, the next season, when the trees start to grow again, it picks up all these different elements and minerals and takes it right up the tree again, and the tree can bloom, and it can be rich and full. The tree actually is recycling its own matter. The same thing with Mother Earth. Can everybody see the charts over here? And Mother Earth has a water cycle. We have the clouds, which it rains, and it goes onto the ground, which usually is washed and cleansed and goes right into a body of water. It can be a lake, or it can be the ocean. And of course, the sun is picking up the water, forming clouds, which goes over land and falls down again. So that's one big cycle. And Mother Earth is cleaning herself with that cycle. It is very natural. And as long as we don't interfere with it too much, it will be very healthy. Of course, lately we start to put a lot of pesticides and a lot of other damaging things onto the water, which is actually harming us, most of all harming Mother Earth first, and we are living off Mother Earth. Of course, we are harming us. Now, our body also has a system. Everything is closed up. Now, our major system is the blood system. We have the heart here. We have the body, representing the arms and the legs and everything else in the body. Then we have the liver and the kidneys. We have the blood circulation, which goes from the heart all through the body, into the liver, through the kidney, and back into the heart. Now, this is very basic. And, of course, in reality, it's a little more diffused. But basically, that's the way it works. Now, what is the major function of the liver? Anybody can tell me that? Okay, cleanses the blood, detoxification, takes out all the heavy toxins, it stores the toxins, makes enzymes. Okay, what does it do? It takes out the toxins from the blood and stores it within the liver, usually all the fatty tissue, and starts to make enzymes. Now, when the blood is coming from the liver, this blood is clean blood with a lot of enzymes going into the kidney. Now, what is the major function of the kidney? Filters the blood. Urine is nothing else than filtered blood. Did you ever think of your blood being something bad and toxic? None of you in here, I'm sure, have thought your blood is something really bad. Urine is your blood, except it's yellow. All the heavy parts are taken out. Now, in the urine, in the blood that comes into the kidneys, we have a lot of enzymes, and we have a lot of vitamin C, as example. We have a lot of whatever you ate in your diet will be in your blood. Okay? Now, when you take a lot of vitamin C, what's going to happen? Yes, it goes through the kidney, and it is excreted. And why? Because your body doesn't overtax its own system. It takes too much energy to carry all that vitamin C around the body for hours and hours. So usually what it takes, it's within the next 2 hours, and the rest is secreted in the urine. So in your urine you have vitamin C. What about enzymes? You have enzymes in the urine, and why? Because enzymes you think should be used up by the body. Well, the enzymes, they need coenzymes to be able to be activated. What is a coenzyme? It's a mineral. It's coming out of your food usually. And when you don't get that out from your food, and that's why it is so important to eat properly and get you plenty of nutrients in your food and minerals, when you don't have them in your diet, your enzymes cannot be activated. And the body, in its own wisdom, starts to take them out in your urine, because it doesn't want to carry all that load through the body over and over again. So now you have enzymes in here, and you have vitamin C in here. The same thing with the B vitamins. The same thing with amino acids. With all the different things. You see what's in the urine. It's everything in here. And then from here the blood is balanced. So the major function of the kidney is to balance out the blood. Okay? And then it goes through the heart, through the body and all that, and goes into the liver. Again, what is the major function of the liver? Detoxification. Very good. What about the major function of the kidney? Balancing. Can I hear that, everybody? Balancing. Good. Now, what is in urine? 95% of the urine is water, pure living water. Now, 5%, the rest of the 5% are vitamins, minerals, proteins, enzymes, hormones, antibodies, amino acids. We know of around 200 different substances within urine. These are just the major ones, and we go into that a little bit more later on. But there are guesses that we have over 2,000. We only know a little part of it with our science so far. Our body contains much more than we really know. And that's the reason why urine therapy is so powerful, because you're giving back to your body exactly what it needs at the time. What happens is that your body, when you're sick, it produces antibodies. It stimulates your immune system. Now, some of these antibodies are coming out as a complex with the antibody-antigen complex. It comes out in the urine. When you take that back into your system, and that has been shown through scientific research, what it will do is it will stimulate your immune system. It will increase your interferon in your own system. Now, would you think that any of these substances are toxic or bad? No, you usually go out and buy them for a lot of money in a health food store over and over again. While you go home and you just release it again. Now, what are some of the specific elements in urine? One of them is uric acid. And a lot of people are always concerned on uric acid. They always think it may be bad because we hear how poisonous and toxic is as well with urea and other parts. And yes, when you get too much of anything, it is bad. You can poison yourself with anything when you get too much of it. But everything has to be in proper balance, and that is the key. Now, the minute amount you get of uric acid in your system, it actually helps to prevent cancer. And everything in here that comes from the scientific community, I didn't just make them up. That has been researched, and we have the research paper. So all of that is well known. It also increases lifespan. And that's another reason why you can see when you start to put urine on your skin, it increases the lifespan within the cell. And what it does to that little cell, and you can see it in a mirror within a short time, it does to your whole body when you take it internally. And there are all different ways of doing it, and I will show that later on. There is a substance called antineoplastin. How many of you here have heard about Dr. Brzezinski? Some of you have. Dr. Brzezinski is a medical doctor who takes the antineoplasms out of blood and urine in Dallas, Texas, and he puts it into a drug, especially for cancer. Now, this has been approved through the FDA, and that's the reason it's called now a drug. And it's really a very effective part for cancer. He has a lot of success with it. But at the time, before he even had his institute, he did a lot of studies with antineoplasms, and we see what he found on the studies later on. Age 11, it changes the size of the cancerous tumor. It makes it smaller. An other thing that fights cancer, which comes out right off the urine. Your body is producing whatever is necessary at the time. When you have a flu, then your body will produce all the antibodies against the flu, and it's within the urine. When you take it back, you start to stimulate the immune system, and that's the beauty of it. We have proteosis. This helps allergies. We look into that a little bit later also. Factor S, which helps to sleep. Urea, which is a very important part, and many people don't know that a lot of the urea is expelled, but a lot of the urea is filtered back into the blood, because we need urea in our system for the metabolism. It's a very important factor. It helps to digest protein and fat. We have a hormone called no-name hormone. This regulates the diencephalon, which helps you to balance out your weight. Now, Dr. Brzezinski did a lot of, like I mentioned, a lot of research with cancer, and he has found that in 97% he used the antineoplasms, which comes from urine, will realign cancer cells back to normal without damaging all the cells around it. Now, this is really exciting news, isn't it? 97% you can actually heal your cancer. In pain control, they had a success rate of 98%. You didn't need any more painkillers when you start to go on urine therapy. Why? Because it decreases the tumors. And this study here in Texas, which happened in 1988, was done through 3 Texas clinics with AIDS patients, and they received urine injections. They all improved, but the government stepped in, as usually, and closed down the clinics. And the doctor who had the practices had to go to court, and they had a 2-week hearing. The patient showed up, and they proved them how the blood readings improved, the T-cell improved, all that. What ended up is that the government said, well, you cannot practice it unless you apply for a drug permit, an experimental drug permit. Now, there's no way you can put urine on a drug permit, make an experimental drug permit for urine, because urine, everybody's urine is different. Every time when you go to the bathroom, your urine is different. So how can you put a patent on something that's always changing? It's not possible. Your body produces whatever you need at the time. It's perfect. It's perfect. Unfortunately, this clinic never have opened again. And but urine therapy is practiced right now with AIDS patients on the ground. As you know, it's very simple. You can do it yourself without injections, and a lot of them are doing it, and they get a lot of good results for all kind of different infections and different problems, from Kaposi sarcomas to pneumonia to people who are almost dying. They've started on urine therapy, and they're getting better and better and better. And yes, it doesn't seem to work on everybody 100%, but it works on many, many people. And what we want to see is that whoever can be helped with urine therapy, try it. When it helps you, great. Okay. Now, how is urine therapy done? Anybody has a questions to any of those posters? Yes. Okay, the question, everybody heard the question? How much does it require to drink or to take? And that's just the next part we're going into it. Urine therapy can be practiced in different ways. First of all, we have the basic part, the external part where you put it onto our skin, and the internal part. Now, the internal part is very easy. It can be either, you can drink it, you can put it into your eyes, you can sniff it into your nose, you can put it into your ears, you can make enemas out of it, for the women you can make the douches with it. So anywhere you can put it in your body, you can put it into your body. Some of the ways are more powerful for one person than others. Some people I have heard, they say, well, the implants seem really fabulous for me and they just really work much better than anything else. And some people feel that drinking is the best way for them. So everybody is a little bit different, and a lot of it may also have to do with the mental attitude, because we have been drilled for so many years that urine is bad and poisonous. It's not that easy to go over that cliche. So the easiest way to start urine therapy actually is to just put it on your skin. First of all, just on your skin to make it more nice and more smooth. And second of all, whenever you get a little rash, you get a little skin irritation or a burn or anything like that, put urine on it, massage urine into it. You will be amazed what it does to you, yes? The first time, when you never ever did urine therapy before, you will have a smell to it. And it will, you just put it into orange juice, and then you can drink it for the first couple of times. And then after you do urine therapy, it started to lighten out. When you're on a good diet, you don't smell me, I have it on.
You only smell it off of the skin. You'll smell it on material, you'll smell it on anywhere else except on
It's absorbed. And for that purpose, you usually use fresh urine. Now, when you use old urine, and we are talking as old you can stand it, because it starts to smell, then of course you have to wash it off, within an hour. Usually after an hour you wash it off. Now the reason why you use old urine versus fresh urine is, especially when you have a skin condition, you put old urine on it and it heals much more powerful because it has more ammonia in it. The urine starts to break down after it stands. When it comes out, it's sterile. But when you start to have the urine sitting there, it starts to break down. And for external healing, the old urine is much more powerful. But the drawback on that is it smells. And that's the reason why you want to wash it off afterwards. After an hour, you put it on. Now, the fresh urine doesn't really smell. And especially after you do the urine therapy for a couple of days, it takes that odor out. When you never did urine therapy before, you will smell it a little bit. Okay, and you just put it on and then wash it off a little bit later, till your urine starts to be without smell. The urine is, like we said, it is nothing else that filtered blood, and blood actually comes out from your diet. So whatever you put into your diet will come out in your urine. So when you're on a good diet, your urine will be fine and smooth and actually very pleasant. When you're on a junk diet, your urine is junk. You put it in, you get out what you put in. It's very simple. So whenever we do urine therapy, we always recommend to be as good a diet as possible. Stay away from pesticides, from anything artificial. Go on a really basic. We always usually recommend the basic diet of whole wheat, nutrient-rich foods. Fresh vegetable, preferable, organically grown. Okay? Now the internal use. Let me go back to the internal use. You can start up with urine therapy and just use maybe a half an ounce in the morning juice. A little bit orange juice. But take it fresh. Take it basically as soon as it comes out. Because the sooner the better. It has also, and we saw that I did a lot of photography years ago. When you have something alive, it has an aura around it. And the more you take in that aura, you get that life force into you as well. The same thing with urine. When you take fresh urine, it has that vitality in it. And when you take that in, that vitality is coming back to you. It stimulates your immune system, it stimulates the vitality. So you don't really want to leave it out there and just let it wait. Okay, so we always use fresh urine to take internally. Later on, you can go up to 2 ounces, 4 ounces. You can take a whole glass. Some people are doing whole fasts. They don't do anything else than just fast on urine therapy, on their own water.
Do you take too much?
Basically, no. Your body, what also happens is your body is very sensitive. It becomes very sensitive, and your body will tell, you know, that's enough. I just don't want to take anymore.
If you take too much, you get loose bowels.
Then we go into another thing, and we go into that a little bit later. Okay. So basically, you cannot get too much. When you get a loose bowel, like you mentioned before, what happens is your body detoxifies. So we go into detoxification a little bit later, but that's a very good sign. So that's one form. When you sniff, when you have any kind of sinus problem, start to sniff urine is the best thing out there. The easiest way to do it is you take some in your hand and you breathe it in. You close one of your nostrils and you breathe it in, and then you do it on the other side. It cleans out sinuses like nothing else. It is incredible powerful. When you have any kind of ear problems, ear pain, you can put it into your ears. For women with the yeast infections, it's a fabulous douche. You use your own urine. It's incredible powerful. When you want to stimulate the liver to detoxify, especially the liver, you make urine implants. How are they done? You take a little ear syringe, put urine into it, and put it up into your colon. You may get 2-3 ounces in, and you leave it there. And the body absorbs it and puts it through the portal vein and puts it right into your liver, and it works on the liver, on the detoxification of the liver, and also on the enzyme production. Okay? Now, we have heard before that urine therapy, when you take too much, it may give you some diarrhea, like this lady mentioned. Urine therapy is a natural healer. And what it does, it helps you to detoxify. So after you start to do urine therapy, all kind of different things may happen. One of them is a looser ball. You don't really get diarrhea, you may get a loose ball. And that's just one sign. Some people may get a rash, some people may get a headache, some people may get any of that. They may not get any of that. So everybody is a little different. But when you have a lot of toxins in your system, your body starts to throw them out. And there are only few ways of doing that. When you have a lot of viruses in your system, how does the body take care of viruses? Anybody knows? Yes, fevers. You may get a fever. But don't try to get that fever down. Try to have that fever because the body is healing it. So what we try to do is to have the body stimulated so the body can take care of whatever goes on. The body has so much wisdom. One thing I have found with a lot of people when they do urine therapy is instead of just taking it, looking at it and drinking it, maybe say a little prayer. Say thank you to whoever you believe in God, whatever your maker is. Say a thank you for that great water. Take it as a prayer because it is the greatest gift we ever have and we ever will have. And everybody in here has it. It doesn't matter where you go. You get stranded somewhere on an island, or like what happens, unfortunately, and hopefully it won't happen again, with the Hurricane Andrew. People couldn't be reached for days, and they didn't have any fresh water there, and the water was, they were not sure how bad the water was. There were several people who started to drink the urine because they were concerned about the water supply. And with right, because there were everywhere dead carcasses from animals. They started to pollute the water. They started to go on urine therapy. And the same thing, that one book I have written, Urine Therapy May Save Your Life, has been translated in several languages, and one of them is Croatia. And that, of course, in Yugoslavia, with all the civil war, I'm sure you have heard how difficult it is to get food supply into Sarajevo. And one thing, at least the people will have now, they have the knowledge of doing urine therapy, and it's pretty quickly distributed right now. One way of helping them to get some water into and some nutrients into the system, hopefully that down the road we can give them really the food they need, but right now it's very difficult. But about Somalia, the same thing. We cannot bring them the relief they need. At least urine will keep them on a little longer till the time we can bring them the supply. So whenever you're stranded, we don't know what's happening in our life. We don't know where we will be in a situation we need it. You always can resort to your own water. It will keep you going for a long time. Some people have fasted on urine and nothing else than urine for over 100 days. So you know you can sustain on it for a long, long time. Yeah, you had a question before?
I was going to ask, is there a length of time that you should do it and then stop it for a while?
Some people do it every morning. They never stop. And some people feel they want to stop in between and go on to it again. So everybody's a little bit different. You listen to your own body. With urine therapy, you start to be very much in tune with yourself. You start to feel what food is good for you and what is bad for you. And the interesting part is it's also some morning you said, no, I really don't want to drink it today. And that is fine. Your body's telling you something. You don't need it right now. But the next day, the day after, you feel like you really need it. Or maybe one day you need it all day long. So everybody's different. Start to learn to listen to your body. Your body has a lot of wisdom. Yes?
This is all based on the premise that the liver is doing its job and functioning well.
Mm-hmm.
Suppose that is not the case.
Mm-hmm. Some of the minute amount of toxins are in the urine, minute amounts. And what it does, it's like a homeopathic remedy. As you know, most of you know homeopathy, you cure, the same is the same. The same thing with the urine, the minute amount of toxins in there, or so-called toxins, will stimulate your immune system. Okay, and that also has been proven as well. And that's the reason it's called that urine therapy is the most basic form of homeopathy, the most pure form of homeopathy. It's also called the mother of Ayurvedic medicine. So you can see it has been in different healing systems. It was a part of different healing system all the way long. It's just now for us to be used. What other questions? Yeah? Some people are massaging it into the hair, and it's interesting when people have totally white hair, sometimes they start to get the color back. When you have roots and they don't really grow too well, you start to massage the urine into it, they start to be much fuller. So some people, not everybody reacts the same way. And when you go and take urine, you want to use it for a specific purpose. Sometimes that won't happen right away because the body has to take care of something else first. Whatever is worst in your system, usually we have seen that the body starts to take care of first. Okay?
Can you put some kind of flavoring in it? You know, like peppermint or something?
Yeah, you can use something else that's easy for you to take, yes. Yes, you can. But only natural, take only natural material, like peppermint leaf or some peppermint, or usually what's also done with the orange juice or something like that.
In the eyes, good for cataracts?
Oh, yes. You can put it into your eyes. It's done for cataracts, for any kind of eye infections. Yes, you can wash it out. It's very good. Pineapple juice is recommended. That's fine. Glaucoma, I know people who have used it for glaucoma. Yes. I believe that when people have cancer, even so they're not aware about it, and I believe almost everybody in here may have a cancer cell in them because it's not something that suddenly is there. I'll be finished in a minute. Oh, okay. Okay, yes, it's good for them. Okay, and I am told we overrun a little bit, so please, when you want to have more information, we're on board in booth 42. I'm glad to talk with you. Thank you.
How do you make a living?
I don't make a living on that. I can make a living. How expensive it is, do you think it's
I know, yeah, but how do you make it? What do you do?
I'm treating people.
Oh,
Yeah, but still, I'm not rich.
yeah, I know.
It's a work from my heart.
Yeah, I'm going to see you later.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank
That was
you.
a wonderful lecture. You're so knowledgeable. God bless you, and I appreciate it.